Is up, gamers? Welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. And today I got another dev update here for you. This one going over the deck recommendation system. And if you would like to check this out for yourself, I'll leave a link to this in the description down below. And then if you would like to see their previous dev updates, I've done a video for most of those, and I'll leave a link to the playlist that I've created right up here for you. And then finally, if you enjoy this, if you could like and subscribe to the channel, I'd very much appreciate it. And if you could also leave a comment down below, that would help me out a ton as well. Anyways, let's dive into this. They say, hello, everyone. Today, we wanted to show you the deck recommendation system. The main intent for this system was to help ease players into the strategy and deck building side of playing Battle Aces. We will have 3 deck recommendations with simple 3-step instructions on how to go about playing each deck. However, things like teaching perfectly or making sure these decks are viable at the most competitive levels of play are not our goals here. So now let's talk about each of the 3 decks. Here's our screenshot here of the deck recommendations: defensive deck, air army deck, counter units deck, defensive play into advanced units, and then a little bit of minor little tutorial here. And a little bit of a 3-step process here, it looks like. It says defensive play into assault bot and advanced bot. That's pretty cool. I like this idea. I think this should help newer players in general. I feel like I picked up the game pretty quickly. I certainly have a lot of experience in other games and games that are, more strategy oriented and whatnot. I haven't played too many real-time strategy games before Battle Aces, just like a little bit of Age of Empires and whatnot. So, I feel like I had some of the base tools, so to speak, to get into Battle Aces pretty quickly. But I think it would be a little more difficult for somebody who's brand new to gaming in general, or somebody who's new to a more strategy-oriented style of gaming. I'm glad they're trying something like this, something very simple and basic to at least get people started in somewhat of a decent direction. And again, this is probably also more for casual players who aren't necessarily trying to play at the highest levels and don't really have that intention of trying to grind up the ladder or anything like that. If you're just looking to get into the game and play a few quick matches and just destroy a few bots, I feel like this is kind of going to point you in the right direction at least and get you started on something like that. And I like that they have 3 different options here for different styles of deck. You got the defensive deck, air army deck, counter unit deck, and maybe they already know that they like to have more of a defensive play style, and so that'll be a good one for them to want to try out. And then if they feel like they want to try something a little more unique and interesting, they might try something like the air army deck and whatnot. I think having a few different deck type archetypes and whatnot is a great way to get people started. The first one is more of a defensive playstyle. The strength of this deck is assault bots, and are stronger for cost than any tier 1 matter only option. Crusaders can tank against splash, and advanced bots are strong versus most air units. And from an execution point of view, just building 1 resource base, then straight teching to tier 3 for an army that's very strong in an A-move situation could be a good starting point for many new users. And yeah, I think I agree with that. Again, it's not really about being super competitive and having the best win rate and all of that. When you're getting somebody started out, you just want to give them simple, easy to follow guidelines to be able to give them something that's reasonably usable and somewhat strong maybe, but something that's going to be easier for them to really use and implement so that they don't feel overwhelmed having to click a million things and whatnot. And I think just doing a 1 base, teching up to tier 3 is a pretty good strategy to start with. It's pretty simple, not too complicated. You don't have to worry about defending multiple different bases and whatnot. And so, is that good for the long run and for the best strategy for increasing your win rate and whatnot? Probably not, but just to get started and get you thinking about how to play the game, I think that's a great way to go. And then the next one we have here is the Air Army deck. You can see how that's a little bit different. It looks like, I don't know, this unit looks different to me. Is that a new unit? Goodness, I don't know how I missed that before, but I wasn't looking too closely at the units or whatnot, but it looks like we might have a new unit here. That's pretty cool. Anyways, so you can see here this Air Army deck is a bit different than the previous one. It's just purely focused on air dominance. You got the Cat Bus for the ultimate air unit that shoots ground targets, and then you got the Valkyrie as well. That's going to be the ultimate shooting air targets. So you definitely have 2 of the best air units in that regard. So pretty cool deck. Again, it's not about being the best competitive deck at the highest levels or anything, but it's an interesting way to get people into more of the strategy side of things. The second recommended deck has a similar idea in terms of expanding only once, then teching to tier 3, but players can focus on building all cat buses for an all-around army versus most ground units, or mix in Valkyries to counter enemy air units. Overall, a similar idea as the first deck, but just using all-round air units instead. Yeah, again, I like that. It plays similar to the first deck in the sense that you're maintaining a similar strategy of staying on one base. You're not expanding. You're going to tier 3 as soon as you can, and just pumping out some of your biggest, best units. And so it's similar enough in that regard to get people starting to use more units. And so I like the overall synergy of these different decks so far. And then the next one here is the counter units deck. And we can see it's got a little bit of everything, and it seems like it's a bit of a more reactive play style probably here. Finally, we wanted to include a more reactive gameplay deck. This would be a bit more tricky for new players to use because it requires the use of checking the intelligence bar and or the units being built on the opposite side. But we wanted to try including this type of deck because one of the core funs of battleaces is countering enemy units to win. As the more experienced players can see, we're not listing out every single counter, but trying to keep the instructions more simple and manageable. We're hoping that as new players try this deck, they can explore on their own to figure out the other counters they can utilize. I think that's a great idea. You're giving them multiple different deck types, different ways to play the game, and try out some new units and whatnot, and see what they like, and hopefully they get a feel for that as they play. So then they get a feel for the different types of units and the units that they like and don't like, and then the different types of strategies and different ways that they can play, whether it's defensive, or maybe they realize they like playing a little more aggressive, or maybe they like playing the reactive counter strategy. And hopefully that really helps a lot of new players get into it. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see on that. But I'm excited. I like it. I really think that'll work. Our hope is to test this system in the next beta to locate iteration items needed for the future. Thank you so much, and please let us know your thoughts. If you have some time in the next beta test to try out some of these recommended decks. A fun fact about this system is we tested the system without implementing anything and measured the success level using internal team members. Granted, it was a very small sample size of newer players. We did see some examples of players just getting the hang of how to go about playing and deck building much better. This is why we've decided to include and test out this system in the next beta test. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited for the next beta. I think it's going to be super awesome. It sounds like they're making a lot of very cool changes here, and I can't wait to see what it looks like and see how it feels playing again. So I will keep you guys posted and up to date on that. So if you enjoy this, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And I'll definitely let you guys know as soon as I find out when the next beta is. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.